A tale as old as time and beloved by millions of people has fallen under criticism of possessing a horrible message and controversial agendas. Individuals believe Beauty and the Beast is the story of the character Belle submitting to an abusive relationship after she becomes the Beast's prisoner. People fear Belle has Stockholm Syndrome. According to the Farlex Partner Medical Dictionary, Stockholm Syndrome is a form of bonding between a captive and captor in which the captive begins to identify with and may even sympathize with the captor. The syndrome is a subconscious defense mechanism in which the brain reacts in order to protect itself from any potentially harmful feelings or situations. And if you were only armed with this definition, Belle's situation seems textbook Stockholm. Not only do people question whether Belle's affection for the Beast is genuine, but others believe her relationship to be heinous for she is falling in love with an animal, and Belle is egotistical and condescending. But I don't think there should be any controversy surrounding this classic tale. Hello, I'm Isaac from Want So Videos, where we discuss fun topics for fun people. Today, I'm going to disprove Belle Stockholm Syndrome and show Beauty and the Beast's true message. To understand why Belle truly loves the Beast, we need to understand the mental syndrome people claim she possesses. Using prior captive situations, researchers have identified common parameters which frequently lead to Stockholm Syndrome. First, the crisis situation lasts for several days or longer, which we know is true for Belle. There's no disproving this condition, but there are problems with the remaining requirements. The second condition for captives to gain Stockholm Syndrome is their captors remain in constant contact with the hostage. That is, the hostage is not placed in a separate room. If a hostage and captor are kept in separate rooms, it is much more unlikely that Stockholm Syndrome will develop because the captive's interactions are only with the captor. Well, this doesn't happen at all. The Beast tells Belle she can wander anywhere within the castle, except the West Wing. She gets her own room, and the Beast sends servants to wait on her. Belle may feel distressed as a prisoner, but she must not feel in harm's way, which lessens the likelihood of possessing Stockholm Syndrome. But it only gets more complicated from here. The third criteria states people who often feel helpless in other stressful life situations or are willing to do anything to survive seem to be more susceptible to developing Stockholm Syndrome. But Belle is not merely surviving. She's a deviant from society dedicated to a life of adventure beyond her normal town.
I want much more than this provincial life. I want adventure in the great white somewhere. I want it more than I can tell.
Her words aren't indicating she thinks she's better than everyone else, but instead she's stating her longing to escape the townspeople who constantly look down upon her for educating herself and not having children. Other than the bookkeeper and her father, the whole town doesn't listen to her and stares as she walks past. Belle just wants to leave her situation for she is an outcast, showing she is strong and unwilling to bend to their social norm. Furthermore, we see Belle as a strong individual through her volunteering to take her father's place to save his life. And once she is there, Belle wants to survive, like this criteria for Stockholm Syndrome suggests. The difference between Belle is instead of falling to the will of the Beast, Belle persistently strives to leave the castle, which she does twice. The first instance is when the Beast erupts at her for defying his wishes and entering the West Wing. But she returned when the Beast rescued her from the wolves. The Beast came to protect her and almost died in the process, which are actions opposite to Belle's original perception of him. She originally thought the Beast would hurt or even kill her during tantrums, but now she knew he did not want to see her in harm's way. Although she was conflicted to return to the castle, Belle felt it would be wrong to let the Beast just die in the woods after saving her. The second time she escapes is because the Beast permanently releases her to save her father. When her father awakes, she speaks of the kind, empathetic Beast who released her, but Belle does not exhibit any plans to return to the castle, until Gaston spreads malicious and false lies about the Beast and rouses up the townspeople to kill him. After being gone for an unknown amount of time, Belle is once again ignored by the entirety of her own town, and she won't stand by to let the intelligent, kind, empathetic person who released her be killed. Belle goes back to the castle not because she is a victimized woman who now sympathizes with her captor. She returns to protect the Beast and his servants from the town's militia, once again showing how strong she is. Belle does not exhibit Stockholm Syndrome because she does what she believes is right to live a fulfilled life. The final condition states the captor shows some kindness towards the hostage through social interaction or at least refrains from harming them. With their captor as their only interaction, the tiniest glimpse of compassion is blown out of proportion. Even the lack of abuse may seem like a bountiful gift. Of course, the Beast does attempt to be nice to Belle, but she constantly tells him off.
Will you come down to dinner?
No.
It would give me great pleasure if you would join me for dinner. Please.
No, thank you.
In an interview with Entertainment Weekly, Emma Watson, the actor of Belle in the 2017 live-action Beauty and the Beast, also states,
Belle actively argues and disagrees with him constantly.
Belle firmly disagrees with the Beast, refuses to obey his demands, and even knowingly defies his one rule in the castle to not enter the West Wing. Throughout her time in the castle, Belle cares more about satisfying her own desires than simply surviving. But Belle does remain at Beast's castle for a long duration of time, and she does end up falling in love with him while he was her captor. Was her defiance short-lived? Was his new approach after the wolf attack forcing her to succumb to Stockholm Syndrome? Not at all. In true manifestations of the phenomenon, the individual's response or love is involuntary, unconscious, and without insight. Belle knows her attitudes are changing towards the Beast when she returns to the castle, and she questions and recognizes them in the song Something There.
New and a bit alarming. Who'd have ever thought that this could be?
Most importantly, Belle's positive feelings towards the Beast do not begin until he changes. Her constant pushback and anger towards his behavior made the Beast reevaluate who he was and how he approached Belle. It's only when the Beast controls his temper, shows compassion, and becomes a gentleman does Belle begin to trust and care for him as well. And why is it so hard to believe she could fall in love with him? We begin to sympathize and care for the Beast even with all of his faults. Why couldn't Belle do the same? Stockholm Syndrome is a terrifying occurrence and should be questioned if placed in a positive light in a children's film, but Beauty and the Beast is not a tale of Stockholm Syndrome. Belle is distanced by her community for reading and questioning their way of life, and the Beast was made an outcast because of his monstrous appearance. In contrast, Gaston is praised for his aggressive, primitive, and bullying behavior. The villagers feel people like Belle and Beast don't belong, for they are different from the norm, which is how they rationalize and reward Gaston's behavior, even though Belle and the Beast have done nothing to affect their lives. They want to reject and destroy the Beast and manipulate and hurt Belle just because they don't understand them. We are shown how taxing separation from society can be through Beast's inability to continue to fight after Belle left. It's only when Belle returns, and he realizes the person he loves doesn't see him as a monster, is he willing to fight for another day. Beauty and the Beast is not the story of a Stockholm Syndrome girl or a depiction of bestiality. It is a tale as old as time depicting how two rejected people could accept the reasons others banished them and fall in love. This video was sponsored by my patrons over at Patreon. Patreon is a voluntary pledge service where you can support creators like me while also earning exclusive rewards. If you are interested in donating to help grow the channel, check out the page at patreon.com/WatsoVideos. If you'd like to continue to theorize on Belle and her not-so-possible syndrome, then I'll leave the links to the movies and resources I used in the description of this video. So now it's time for your thoughts. Do you think Belle has Stockholm Syndrome, and what do you think the meaning of Beauty and the Beast is? Let me know in the comments section, along with any other ideas you have for future Discovering Disney episodes. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more like it, then remember to subscribe to Watso Videos and click the bell if you'd like to be notified when I post. Thanks for watching, and have a magical day.